Good morning all the students. Today let us learn a new concept called phasor diagram. Phasor diagram. In order to understand the behavior of alternating current with various elements like capacitor, inductor and resistor, we require the knowledge of phasor diagram. Phasor diagram is a diagram which is used to represent a sinusoidally varying quantity. Either it is voltage or it is current. If the quantity is varying sinusoidally with respect to time, such a quantity is represented as phasor diagram, and the oscillating quantity in that particular expression is represented by the phasor. Let us understand here. The phasor diagram is like this. Suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Phasor diagram is representing the anti-clockwise motion of a vector. The anti-clockwise motion of a vector. And here the radius of this circular path is nothing but length of this vector is represented by the peak value of current, and it is rotating with angular frequency omega. Then the angular displacement, you know that angular frequency is equal to angular displacement by time. Whenever we want angular displacement, angular velocity into time taken. Such a rotating vector representing the sinusoidally varying current is called a phasor. The rotating vector is called phasor, and this diagram is called phasor diagram. Here, if I take the components of this vector along x-axis and y-axis, the quantity along y-axis is given by I naught sin omega t, which is nothing but the instantaneous value of the current. The instantaneous value of the current is given by I naught sin omega t. The component of this phasor along y-axis will give the instantaneous value of the physical quantity represented by the phasor. So here I naught is the peak value. Peak value is nothing but the length of this vector, nothing but radius of the circular path. I varies with time. As the time is varying, omega t value is going to vary. As omega t is varying, sin omega t is going to vary. So instantaneous value of current is given by the y component of the phasor along y-axis. This diagram is called phasor diagram. So if I see, or if I say some important points related to the phasor diagram. Phasor diagram is used to represent sinusoidally varying quantity. This is the first point you should understand. The second point, the oscillating quantity is represented as phasor. Oscillating means the varying. Here current is varying with respect to time. Hence current is represented, the maximum value of the current is represented as radius of this circle. The oscillating quantity is represented as phasor. Simply you can say a phasor is a rotating vector. Simply we can say a phasor is a rotating vector. So length of the phasor is equal to peak value of the quantity. Here the quantity is current, hence the peak value of the current is given by the length of the phasor, nothing but radius of the circular path. And phasor is rotating with a frequency equal to the frequency of variation of this current. Next point, fourth point. At any instant, the y component of phasor gives instantaneous value. Fifth point, it rotates with frequency which is equal to frequency of variation of the physical quantity, and the angle made by the phasor with x-axis gives the phase of the physical quantity. The angle made by the phasor with x-axis gives the phase of physical quantity. The phase of physical quantity. If suppose this vector rotates through some additional angle phi, then the angle made by it is given by omega t plus phi. By that moment, if I find instantaneous value, the instantaneous value I is given by, this is peak value I naught. The instantaneous value in this case is given by I naught sine omega t plus phi. In this case, omega t is the phase. In this case, omega t plus phi is the phase. So the phase gives the direction of the physical quantity at a particular instant of time. So clearly, phasor diagram is a diagram which is more helpful to understand the behavior of alternating current in a particular circuit, and the response of a certain device like capacitor, resistor and inductor to alternating current can be understood very easily with the help of phasor diagram. Phasor diagram is a diagram which represents the rotation of a vector in anti-clockwise direction with a frequency equal to frequency of variation of the physical quantity. The length of this vector, nothing but radius of the circular path, which is given by the peak value of the physical quantity. The angle made by the vector with x-axis will give the phase of the physical quantity. Phase means position and direction at a particular time. The component or projection of this vector along y-axis will give the instantaneous value of the physical quantity at a given time. So all these points you should take into consideration to study the behavior of alternating current in a circuit with a pure resistor, that means only one resistor is available, with a pure inductor, with a pure capacitor, or a combination of any of the three, any two of the three, or any three in any combination. So all these ideas can be understood by knowing the concept of phasor diagram. I hope everybody followed and understood the basic idea behind the phasor diagram. Now let us move on to the behavior of alternating current in a circuit with only one resistance, nothing but pure resistive circuit. AC voltage applied to pure resistive circuit. That means there is a source of alternating current. The source of alternating current is represented with the symbol like this. So this current is passing through a circuit which consists of a pure resistor. Only one resistor is available. So its resistance is R. You are applying a sinusoidally varying alternating current. That means V is equal to V naught sin omega t is the general form of the voltage applied to it. It is periodically changing its direction. So we cannot strictly specify the direction of current. Let us suppose for time being at a given instant of time current is passing like this. I would like to study the response of this resistor to the applied voltage. We are applying alternating voltage to the resistor. In order to study this response of this resistor, let me take I is the current at a particular instant of time passing through the resistor. Then the voltage drop across the resistor is given by IR. Voltage drop across the resistor is given by IR. And if I apply Kirchhoff voltage law here, KVL, according to KVL, this voltage and this voltage, their algebraic sum must be 0. That is V naught sin omega t, and here the voltage drop is IR. Their sum must be 0. As you are going from high potential to low potential, it should be taken as negative. So here we are thinking that current is going like this. So current is going from this point, means this is high potential, this is low potential, going from low to high. So it is positive. So V naught sin omega t must be equal to IR. That means applied voltage must be equal to voltage drop across resistor. Nothing but V naught sin omega t. V naught sin omega t. If I want to calculate the current passing through the circuit, current passing through the circuit is nothing but voltage across resistor by the resistance. V naught sin omega t by R. V naught by R is peak voltage by resistance, is peak current. I naught sin omega t. If you observe clearly, I have taken the applied voltage as V naught sin omega t. I got the current passing through the resistor as I naught sin omega t. The phase of this quantity and phase of this quantity is the same. There is no phase change observed due to the passage of current through a pure resistor. So pure resistive circuit will not give any phase change through the circuit. So voltage comma current both are in same phase. The phase difference observed is 0. Omega t minus omega t. There is no phase difference between these two. This is the behavior of alternating current in pure resistive circuit. Similarly, if I find the behavior of applied AC voltage through pure capacitor and pure inductor, you will find some phase difference values and all. Let us go in detail. Before going there, let me draw a graph between current and time and voltage and time. This is current and time and voltage and time. Voltage is clearly V naught sine omega t. It's a pure sine curve like this. Here I can take either voltage or current. If I take current, the value of current, the peak value of current is peak value of voltage by resistance. Definitely it is less than the V naught value. So you will find the current also follows the same path with lesser amplitude. This is V naught, this is I naught. This is peak voltage and this is peak current. Both are in same phase. Both are in same phase. So this is the idea you should take into consideration. Here also voltage and current are in same phase. Here also voltage and current are in same phase. So there is no phase lag between voltage and current. That's what you need to observe from this discussion. And one more point. If I calculate the power dissipated through pure resistive circuit, let me do that calculation here. I would like to calculate the instantaneous power dissipated in the resistor. The instantaneous power dissipated in the resistor. So power is equal to voltage into current. I can take in the place of V is equal to IR. If I substitute it here, I square R is the power. So already we know that I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Hence the instantaneous power is being given by I naught square sine square omega t into R. The average value of power over a cycle. The average value of power over a cycle. Whenever you want power average, it is represented as delta P, that is delta I square R. Delta I square R. I means I naught sine omega t, so I naught square sine square omega t R. This is the expression for average power. So here I naught square is the peak value, which is fixed value. R is also fixed value. Sine square omega. Already we discussed that sine square x can have an average value 1 by 2. So it is I naught square R into 1 by 2. That is the average power here. So here average power is equal to I naught square R by 2. I naught square R by 2. You know that It can be written as I naught by root 2 whole square into R. Peak value by root 2 is IRMS. So IRMS square R will give the average power. The average power can also be written as P bar. Anything you can write. So the average power dissipated through a circuit having pure resistance is given by IRMS square R. So these points you should remember while doing the applications. In this case, if I take the rotating vector or phasor diagram, initially the voltage, the peak value of the voltage is represented as a rotating vector. Later I calculated the current. Current is having I naught as value. So I naught value is less than V naught value. Both are having the same phase, omega t. Since I is equal to I naught sin omega t, V is equal to V naught sin omega t. Phase is the same, that I naught is equal to V naught by R. So this is the rotating vector diagram or phasor diagram for given pure resistive circuit. And if I take the Y components, the Y component of the bigger one will give V naught sin omega t, nothing but V. This one I naught sin omega t. So this is V naught sin omega t, this is I naught sin omega t. So that is about the phasor diagram for pure resistive circuit. Now let us discuss the similar concept in case of pure inductive circuit having only inductance as an element. Okay, so pure inductive circuit. Similar treatment I am going to do. I am considering a circuit which is provided with alternating current source having only one inductor in the circuit. This is an inductor of inductance L. This is a AC source of applied voltage V naught sin omega t, that is V. V is equal to V naught sin omega t is applied voltage. Now, it is an ideal inductor. Ideal inductor means inductor with zero resistance. So no resistance is available here. Its resistance available is 0. And if you apply Kirchhoff voltage law here, voltage drop across the inductor is given by L into di by dt. Voltage drop across the inductor is given by L into di by dt. Now, if I apply KVL by KVL, V, nothing but applied AC source voltage, VL, voltage across inductor, their sum must be equal to 0. Let me take at a particular instant of time, current is going like this, current is going from high to low, so it is negative. It is going from low to high, it is positive. So V is equal to VL. V is equal to VL. That is V means V naught sin omega t. VL means L into di by dt. L into di by dt. Now, I need to simplify this. di by dt is given by V naught by L sin omega t. Di is given by V naught by L into sin omega t dt. In order to remove the derivative on both sides, I should put integration. Here V naught by L is a constant I kept outside. On simplification, integration and derivative gets cancelled. It is an indefinite integration. For sin omega t, integral is minus cos omega t by omega plus c. Constant of integration I can keep plus c. So, the current in the circuit is given by V naught minus V naught by L omega cos omega t plus c. Here the constant of integration is 0. Why? At time t is equal to 0, no current is passing through the circuit. So C value is found as constant of integration can be found as 0. So I is equal to minus V naught by L omega cos omega t. If I want to simplify this, I can write cos omega t is sin 90 minus omega t. And if I take this minus 2 inside the bracket, you will get I is equal to V naught by L omega sin omega t minus pi by 2. It is in the form of I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi. So here this quantity must represent the peak value of current. Current can be represented as voltage by resistance, but here no resistance is available. There is one quantity which is similar to resistance in the pure resistive circuit. Hence, this quantity is named as reactance. As the reactance is given by the inductor, it is called inductive reactance. Inductive reactance. So here XL is called L omega inductive reactance. Omega means 2 pi f, so XL can also be written as 2 pi FL, which plays a similar role like resistance in the pure resistive circuit. So due to the presence of inductor, we observe the peak value of current in the circuit is given by V naught by L omega, and also there is a phase difference between voltage and current. The phase of voltage is omega t, the phase of current is omega t minus phi. So current is lagging behind the voltage. Current is lagging behind the voltage by a phase angle of pi by 2. Here phi is pi by 2. So if you see here, what is phase difference? Here it is omega t is the phase here. Here omega t minus phi is the phase. So the difference between these two means omega t minus phi. So phase difference is phi, which is pi by 2. And clearly current is lagging behind the applied voltage or the voltage by pi by 2 angle, I hope everybody understood what I discussed here. Whenever I apply alternating voltage to a pure inductor circuit, the inductor circuit gives the current value like this. So here the peak value of current is given by V0 by L omega. L omega is represented as XL and is known as inductive reactance, whose formula is 2 pi FL, and voltage and current are not in same phase. There exists a phase difference pi by 2. Therefore, current lags behind the voltage by an angle of pi by 2. I hope everybody understood this. Now let me represent the graph between voltage and current. Voltage, current on y-axis and time on x-axis. And also I would like to represent the phasor diagram for the given case. I hope everybody understood what I discussed so far. Now let us discuss the phasor diagram and the general graph between voltage and time and current and time. Voltage and time, if I take the graph, V is equal to V0 sin omega t, it is like this. V is equal to V0 sin omega t. Then the current value is given by V0 by XL sin omega t minus pi by 2. Here XL is L omega, called inductive reactance. So the graph of current should have the amplitude lesser than this, and there should be some phase difference. The current should have pi by 2 phase lag when compared to voltage. That's why when it is 0, it is still at a negative position. This is peak voltage V0. This is peak current I0. And when voltage is 0, it is still at minus pi by 2 phase. So that is the variation of voltage as well as current with respect to time in pure inductive circuit. If I want to represent the same in phasor diagram, the voltage across or voltage applied is represented as V, which is having a phase omega t. The current is like this, which is at a phase lag of so this is 90 degrees. It is 90 degrees behind voltage. Hence, if I take the y component of this vector, this y component is nothing but V0 sin omega t, nothing but applied voltage. If I take y component of this current, this is I is equal to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. Actually, this angle is pi by 2 minus omega t. As it is in the clockwise direction, we should take a minus. That minus will go inside. So it becomes I is equal to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. That is the phasor diagram representing the variation of voltage and current in a pure inductive circuit. The current lags behind the voltage by a phase angle of pi by 2. And one more important point, if I calculate the power, instantaneous power as well as average power through pure inductive circuit. Instantaneous power, let me calculate. Instantaneous power is given by V instantaneous into I instantaneous. Otherwise, you can write I square R. You can write I square R. But here resistance is not available. So that's why we won't prefer this formula. We prefer this formula only. V instantaneous is V naught sine omega t. I instantaneous is V naught by L omega sine omega t minus pi by 2. Sine omega t minus pi by 2. So if I take minus out, minus V naught square sine omega t by L omega, then it is becoming sine pi by 2 minus omega t, that is cos omega t. And you know that if you multiply with 2 and divide with 2, 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta. So minus V naught square by 2L omega into sin 2A or sin 2 omega t. Otherwise, if I keep this V naught by L omega as I naught, in that case, the same formula you will get like this, minus V naught I naught by 2, V naught I naught by 2 sine 2 omega t. This is the instantaneous power through pure inductive circuit. Now let me calculate the average power over a complete cycle. Now let me calculate average power over a complete cycle. Average power is given by average of voltage into current. Average value of voltage into current. Just now we calculated voltage into current value. So minus of V naught I naught by 2 sine 2 omega t. You know that you can write it as minus V naught I naught by 2 average value of sine 2 omega t. Average value of sin x is 0 because sin x varies from minus 1 to 1. As per yesterday's class discussion, average value of sin x is 0. So something into 0 is 0. Average power over a complete cycle during the passes of current through pure inductive circuit is 0. Average power dissipated is 0 over a complete cycle. So this is the discussion of passes of alternating current through pure inductive circuit, how the phase difference is generated and what is the value of the phase difference. Current is lagging behind the voltage or voltage is leading before the current by a phase angle of pi by 2 in case of pure inductive circuit. And later we have seen the diagrammatic representation of voltage and current in pure inductive circuit, and we calculated instantaneous power and average power in pure inductive circuit. I hope you understood this concept. In the similar lines, we may apply alternating voltage to pure capacitive circuit. Now we are going to discuss this. So similar kind of discussion I am going to make when AC voltage is applied to pure capacitive circuit. Pure capacitive circuit means circuit consists of a single capacitor alone. So again, let me take an AC voltage source applied to a pure capacitor of capacitance C. It is capable to store a charge Q inside it at a particular instant of time. Applied voltage is V is equal to V naught sin omega t as usual. We are taking like that. So if I apply a voltage across or voltage drop across the capacitor is given by Q by C. Now by applying KVL, Kirchhoff voltage law, voltage of the source, voltage across the capacitor, their sum must be 0. Let for time being current is going like this. This is high potential, this is low potential. High to low it is negative, then it is low to high it is positive. So voltage across or V naught sin omega t must be equal to Vc, that must be equal to Q by C. Then the charge at a particular instant of time is given by V naught C sin omega. Whenever I want to calculate current passing through it can be calculated by taking the derivative of charge. The instantaneous current is given by the derivative of instantaneous charge. d by dt of V naught C sin omega t. So V naught is constant, C is constant. For derivative of sin omega t is cos omega t. For omega t, derivative is omega. This is the current in the circuit. This current can be written as V naught by 1 by C omega cos omega t. Or you can write it as V naught by 1 by C omega sin omega t plus pi by 2. Sin 90 plus theta or theta plus 90. Anything is cos theta. So when you compare this equation with I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus phi, I naught is the peak value of current given by peak voltage by 1 by C omega. This is also playing a similar role like resistance in pure resistive circuit. Hence, this quantity is called reactance given by the capacitor or capacitive reactance. Capacitive reactance. Also, here one more point. If you observe the phase difference between voltage and current, voltage is having phase omega t, current is having phase omega t plus pi by 2. So now current is leading. Earlier current is lagging, now current leading. So current leads the voltage by a phase or angle pi by 2. By a phase pi by 2. So this is the variation of current when we apply alternating voltage to pure capacitive circuit. Here current is leading the voltage, or voltage is lagging behind the current by an angle pi by 2. If I want to see the diagrammatic representation and values of average power and instantaneous power dissipation in pure capacitive circuit, we have to follow the similar procedure what we did in the earlier case. Let me do that. Let me draw the graphical variation of voltage and current in pure capacitive circuit. Here I am taking time, here I am taking either voltage over or current. Clearly voltage is a sinusoidal wave like this. In this case, current voltage is given by V is equal to V naught sin omega t. Then current is given by V naught by XC sin omega t plus pi by 2. Current is leading. That means when voltage is 0, current is having a positive value pi by 2. The variation is like this. This is the peak voltage value. This is a peak current value, I naught value. Peak voltage and peak current are related by peak current is peak voltage by XC, that is V naught by 1 by C omega. Here XC is called capacitive reactance. This is the graphical variation of voltage. This is voltage graph and this is current graph. And with respect to phasor diagram, if I speak, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. The voltage what I have taken is having a phase omega t initially. Due to this, the current developed in the circuit, current is leading the voltage, so it will be like this through an angle pi by 2. Through an angle pi by 2. So, and may have lesser value like this. If you take the y component, you will get I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2, because the phase of this is omega t plus pi by 2, phase of the current, and phase of the voltage is, that means the y component of this is given by, means this line V naught sin omega t. So this is the phasor diagram which is representing the voltage and current phasors as shown in figure. You can write here the capacitive reactance 1 by C omega, or you can write it as omega is 2 pi f, 1 by C into 2 pi f. F is the natural frequency. Now let me calculate the instantaneous power as well as average power in pure capacitive circuit. First let me calculate instantaneous power. So power is voltage into current. Instantaneous voltage is V naught sin omega t. At the same time, current value is I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. So V naught I naught by 2 into 2 if I do, this is sin omega t cos omega t, that is 2 sin A cos A is sin 2A. So V naught I naught by 2 sin 2 omega t, that is the instantaneous power value. And if I substitute I naught value, I naught is equal to V naught by xc. So V naught by 2xc sin 2 omega t. Xc is 1 by c omega. So c omega V naught square by 2 sin 2 omega t is the instantaneous power through pure capacitive circuit. If I need average power means average value of the power, nothing but c omega V naught square by 2 sin 2 omega t. Again, average value of sin x is 0. So average power for one cycle, for one complete cycle, is 0. So the average power dissipated through pure capacitive circuit over a complete cycle is 0. I hope all of you followed the behavior of a single capacitor attached to a alternating power supply, and the behavior of pure inductor and the behavior of pure resistor. In which case, which quantity is leading or lagging, you should understand. In case of pure resistor, there is no lead or lag between voltage and current, both are in same phase. In case of pure inductive circuit, voltage leads the current or current lags the voltage by a phase pi by 2. In case of pure capacitor circuit, current leads the voltage by an angle pi by 2. Average power dissipated in both the cases of inductor and capacitor is 0, whereas it exists in case of pure resistor circuit. So this is the idea for today's class. Based on these ideas, we have to go for solving problems. I hope everybody understood this idea. Let us solve one or two applications based on these ideas. Here the question, it is given like this: a light bulb has a rating, rating means the tag which is printed on the bulb, 200 watt, 220 volts. This is the thing which is written on the surface of the bulb. Then find, first one, resistance of the filament of the bulb The second question, RMS value of current flowing through the RMS value of current flowing through the filament. This is the thing. So first let me take the rated values. Power they gave 200 watt. voltage they gave 220 volts. You know that power is equal to voltage into current. I is equal to V by R I can write. So V square by R I can write. So whenever you want resistance, V square by P I should take. V square means 220 into 220 by power value 200. 0, 0, 0, 0 gets cancelled. It will go for 11 times. So 242 ohms will be the resistance of the filament of the bulb. By taking the general formula for power, I calculated this. Next, you are asked to find RMS value of the current. Second one, you need current. Just now, as I said, power is equal to voltage into current. Current is equal to power by voltage. Power value they gave 200. Voltage value they gave 220. 0, 0 gets cancelled. So the current value is 10 by 11 amperes, nothing but 0.9 amperes. So this is the value of current. But this current itself is the RMS value of current, because we calculated power dissipated in case of pure resistive circuit, and the value what we derived is average power is I naught square by 2R. Average power is I naught square by 2R. You know that IRMS is equal to peak value by root 2. So if I substitute I naught value here, root 2 IRMS square or root 2 IRMS whole square by 2R, that is IRMS square R is nothing but average power. If I take IRMS into R as voltage, so average power is IRMS into V. V is equal to here IRMS into R. So I can directly take current value. This is nothing but RMS value of current only. Average power is equal to RMS value of current into voltage. So based on that idea, I calculated IRMS value as 0.9 amperes. Let me go to discuss one more problem. The question says an ideal inductor means inductor with zero resistance of inductance 50 microhenry is connected to a an AC source of 220 volts supply with 50 Hz frequency. Usually the natural frequency of current what we are using at our household purpose is 50 Hz only. Find the inductive reactance. Find the inductive reactance. Solution is very simple. Inductive reactance is represented as Xc, that is L omega. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f. So L value they gave it as 50 microhenry into 10 power minus 6. 2 into pi value is 3.14, you can write. Frequency they gave 50. So if you multiply these ideas, you will get the answer. Otherwise, pi you keep like that. In our options they gave pi itself like that. So 52s are 100, so 10 square into 10 power minus 6 into 50 pi. That is, this is 10 cube. 5 pi into 10 power minus 3. 5 pi into 10 power minus 3. Reactance is also like resistance, so units are ohms only. So 5 pi milliohms. 5 pi milliohms is the answer for the given question. So this is the solution of the given problem, very, very simple. I hope everybody understood this. Thank you very much.